We're good? Okay, let's call a meeting to order. Minutes and reports received and filed.
The clerk's August 2015 fees filed.
Okay. Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports, upcoming meetings and events.
We got a sports tourism meeting today at 11. Cole County Communities Thursday morning. Not a whole lot. Celebrating a divorce rate pretty soon.
I'm
Nothing,
sorry?
just keep going.
I got a salute meeting tomorrow. Looks like that's about it.
Okay. We got the United Way kickoff too at 11:30 on Thursday at Capitol Plaza. Best of Jefferson City at 5:30 at Capitol Plaza. Saturdays, the prison break run from 9 to 11. If anybody wants to do that.
You said run?
Yeah,
Said prison break walk, I'll be fine.
you could do that. Okay, we're gonna do appointment by commission, appointments of the on-site wastewater treatment systems Board of Review.
I brought a copy if you, do you have one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Melody.
Do you have
No.
any questions about the members? I have a bio of some of them if you need some information.
No, we're basically reappointing the whole board.
Well, no, one person can't come to meetings, so we're reappointing two, and then
Okay.
we have three new members.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Robert Henches, Mark Lubreen, Robert Morrison, Ed Galbraith, Ian Saxon, and then Christie is a non-voting ex officio member.
Correct.
So are the ones that were newly appointed, or is that, what term is that?
Here's their,
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know when they were appointed originally, Chris. I assume it was in 2000. So we're just starting over and newly appointing all of them.
So will one of them, some of them be for 1 year and some of them be for 2
Yeah.
years, some will be for 3 year, or?
We staggered them out. The expiration times are on there. Do you?
yeah,
have
here's 2016,
Yeah,
2017.
and then we can
Okay.
reappoint them after that, but in our ordinance, it says that when we initially appoint them, we do staggered terms.
Anybody got any questions?
No, I'm just glad we got the board now. We get this done. That way if somebody does have some changes, they've got some way to take care of it. It's not being put on the health department, which did everything they were supposed to do. And they did a very good job.
So I move that we appoint Robert Henches, Mark Lubring, Robert Morrison, Ed Galbraith, and Ian Saxton to the Cole County On-Site Wastewater Treatment Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
With that, appointment and reappointments to the Cole County Planning Commission. We have Jeremy Tappel and Harley Kestner. And these are reappointments. Michelle Gerstner.
All of those are gonna be reappointments.
No,
except for
Jeremy's a new appointment, reappointment for Harley, and reappointment for Michelle.
Right. And Jeremy's replacing Carolyn Lathan, who said that she had been on it long enough. If we could find somebody to replace her, then we could. So we spoke with Jeremy, and he was willing to do it. Hard to find people to volunteer for these high-paid positions.
It was posted in Sunday's paper too about our openings on
I saw that.
boards and commissions.
I know, but you can have a couple of drinks with them and try to talk them into it too, and when they're weak and they still don't want to volunteer for it. So,
You got those somewhere?
These are right here,
Okay.
yeah.
so any motion to appoint those three?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bids and contracts, bid award for 2015-29 collector banking services.
I'm actually gonna let Larry talk about that.
Banking services were due in August. Oh. Thanks.
Good job, Lynn.
Our banking services came due in August. We bid them out. This was the end of a 4-year contract period. We actually changed how we bid it this year. Previously, we had bid the banking, our credit card services, and our printing services all together as one bid. And Central Bank has had that for many, many, many years. We broke out the credit card services and the printing and bid at 3 separate groups. We only had one banking bid, which was Central Bank, so you have a contract. We're asking you to approve a 4-year contract with Central Bank on the banking services. We're just going to 1-year contract on the printing and online services. Central Bank wasn't the lowest, but they're the time it took for us to get the bids in, evaluate them and everything, didn't give us enough time to change either of those programs to something different for this coming tax season, since we're already started to work on that. So we're going to keep everything with Central Bank. They've made some changes in lowering the online card fees and window card fees for us, or matching those, and lowering the e-check fees that they were charging, so they're more in line with what some of the collector providers are giving out to their consumers. So we're asking you to approve both contracts for Central Bank, 4 years on the banking services and 1 year with 3 1-year renewable options on the printing and credit card and online services.
What we got going on here? Why we got 2 conversations going? I'm confused.
And I'm not explaining it again.
You start from the beginning.
Just say yes.
So it's a 4-year contract for banking.
4-year
and
for
1 year-
banking services, 1 year for credit card and the printing and mailing of tax bills, with 3 1-year options for renewal.
1 year with the 3-year renewal options on all of them, basically. Right.
Except banking services, it's a full 4 years.
Because we can only contract for 1 year, right?
No,
So we have 1 plus the options? Or we actually,
4 on the banking, which is exactly the same thing that you all do for your banking services, I believe.
Yeah, we bid it for 2 with the option for 2 more.
Okay.
That's statutory.
okay. So we can contract bank services for 2 years?
Evidently. Ours have always been for 4 years previously, so.
Because Jill,
We can change it.
What's the question?
have you looked over the contracts? Can we contract with the bank for 4 years?
Yes, that's a statutory provision.
Okay.
It's a specific provision that lets us do it just for those services.
So it's different.
Yes.
Okay. Have you looked over the contracts that Larry has? Okay. Any other questions?
Well, why didn't we bid it quicker to see if we had a better option that we would have had time to change things over, I guess is my only question. Did you?
That would
you got
be
the
my
other
fault.
bids? Did the other bid, I mean, would we have changed it over if we had time to change it over?
I don't necessarily know that we would. There are a lot of difficulties in trying to put the printing together with our office here, and the other printing bid was from Springfield, Missouri.
So this is probably the best bid anyway.
I believe so, yes.
I'm fine with that. I just was curious because you had mentioned that part that we don't have time to make the changes. And alrighty. I don't have any more questions.
I move that we award the contract for banking and printing and credit card services to Central Bank.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You go ahead and approve
Okay.
It's just the one yesterday.
Okay.
We need to make a motion for that too.
So we awarded it, did we approve the contract too? Did we do both on that last motion, or did we just award it?
We just awarded it.
Okay. So, you wanna do the contract too?
Sure. I move that we sign the contract for banking, credit card services, and printing with Central Bank.
All right, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We gotta do both of them, same.
Yep, you're right.
Making it difficult.
You're right.
Just seeing if you was paying attention.
Amendment for Show Me Healthy Woman contract.
This is actually for the contract that ended June 29, 2015, and because all the money wasn't spent, they have to do a contract amendment basically to take it out of our contract so they can redistribute it this next year. So I just need a signature approving that they changed that contract amount for the contract that's already ended.
I don't have any questions on it. It is what it is.
I move that we assign the amended contract with DHSS.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think those are all.
Health Department addendum to CGM contract.
So I brought Dale along for a backup in case you guys have technical questions about the EFAC system. But basically, right now we use a server and it's getting outdated and obsolete, and we can go ahead and do it electronically through their software. The upgrade's going to be about $1,000, which we can take out of our current budget, and then the maintenance fees are the same as what we're paying now. But we do need an amendment to our contract to get that accomplished with CGM.
Yeah, basically, I mean, the overview is we have a
It's too
server
technical for
sitting
me.
at Health that all it does is allows the faxes to go through the system, and it's obsolete. And to replace it with new technology, and there's some other caveats too. We have to use old software to support the card, and a bunch of negative things that's got to happen to keep it going. It's going to be thousands of dollars of hardware that's obviously every few years have got to be replaced again, and this is getting it totally off of our hardware. And we just purchased a service through them, and they take care of all the back end stuff. So we're just faxing through their system and eliminating our hardware input. So,
And Jill-
and I think Mike did a spreadsheet on it, and over the course of time, it saves over 10 years is like $8,000 or something that we would save.
We would save?
Yeah, so even if it was completely a wash, it still makes sense not to get out of the faxing business ourselves if we could. So that would be my recommendation anyway, that we switch over and just eliminate one more point of failure if we, and stuff we just have to keep maintaining for perpetuity. So.
And Jill did review that contract and said it was fine.
Okay.
I move that we sign the agreement with CGM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. Commission comments, unfinished business. Do we? Nope. Accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable. There's a couple utility bills in there, and there's also George paid from last 3 months, I think.
Like you said, George.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, I
that
did
kind of sounds. Jury. So moved.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
Yeah, didn't you know we were all getting jewelry?
no, just me.
I'm gonna switch our agenda around a little bit.
We got tongue studs coming in. Anybody want
Okay.
to pierce?
Okay.
I'm gonna switch our agenda around a little bit and call on Mike Sapp to present abatement hearing 201-507009.
Let's just move that budget discussion to the end unless somebody needs to stay for that. Debbie?
Yeah,
Yeah, do I need to be, I'm not collecting, this is voluntary on the budget.
Does anybody need to stay for budget discussion other than certain people that want to talk to us about some
Right.
stuff?
Just
Okay.
if anybody wants to talk to you, that's all.
Okay. Okay. You're up, Mike.
This one's on 5304 Scruggs Station. This property sold on the courthouse steps just a little over a year ago. The current owners as of last Monday, I believe. They filed for a new deed. So after the case was started, the ownership is transferred. Since ownership is transferred, they have cut the grass. The solid waste still remains on the property. And the new owners have assured me that they are working to get it done, although nobody's been out there the last 2 days. So I basically told them if I don't have anything within the next week, I will be issuing a new violation notice to them and putting it back on the agenda. One of the things that happened with this is their attorney told them they couldn't step foot on the property for a year. Larry can speak to that. He announces at the auctions that they're responsible for maintenance of the property. So I don't know whether there's something we can give out at the time of sale, that they're responsible to clean it up. Also, that ownership didn't hit the county records until about 2 weeks before I put this on the agenda. So I was trying to track down the owner, the previous owner, and send notice to him when notice didn't need to go to him, it needed to go to the new owners. So I was unaware for about a month before, and I just happened, I got another complaint, brought it up, and saw the new owner's name, care of, had gotten updated to the records just almost a year, 11 months after they had ownership of the property, or had paid for ownership of the property. Do I misspeak on that, Larry, or?
No, we always announce at the sale, you know, when they buy, they're purchasing the lien is basically what they're doing at the delinquent tax sale. They purchase that lien and the current owner has up to a year to redeem it. We always inform them that they need to maintain the exterior of the premises, because in many cases, the grass has not been cut and things of that nature, just as this has happened, and they end up getting liens placed on the property by the city or the county. So we tell them to keep up the outside of the premises. If the property is redeemed, we can include that expense in the redemption, so that the previous owner has to repay the purchaser at the tax sale for any legitimate expenses to maintain the exterior of the property. We tell them they can't go inside the property or make any changes to the interior or anything like that, so. And we file our certificates of purchase normally within a week of the tax sale. I can't tell you why the information was not updated by the assessor's office, but we file the information. All of our certificates of purchase, for instance, have already been filed for the tax sale we had on the 24th, so.
Okay.
And that's how we do all of them. The current owner's name stays on the tax bill, but the in care of and the address of the lien purchaser is added to that tax bill. So that's where the tax bill goes, because that individual is actually responsible for paying the taxes unless the property is redeemed.
So does it go to the assessor first after the sale and then?
Goes to the reporter first.
Okay.
Ralph will tell you what their process is, but I assume they send those to the assessor's office, or the assessor's office picks them up, or?
Are you talking about the liens?
Yeah, the deeds,
The deeds?
certificates of purchase and that, and the collector's deeds.
We would certainly get those.
And
I did not.
How do you get to how does the assessor get it?
Perhaps by a report.
So was the owner notified?
The owner, I still don't have any mailing address or him. He is still gone. I sent all
No, I
the-
meant the one who bought it on the courthouse steps.
Yes,
I'm not
that's who I,
names up.
that's who I mailed the
Were
notice
they
to.
properly notified?
Yes.
So then we can go ahead and proceed with the abatement, because they still have responsibility to take care of the property. Whether their attorney tells them to stay on or off of it, somebody's gotta take care of it.
Yes.
They're just gonna have another abatement, another tax lien on it to take care of, right?
Well, I think what Mike's asking you to do is allow them time to get it cleaned up before you.
Oh, you want extension?
Yeah, if we
Okay.
can, I wanted to make you aware of
Okay.
what happened with this
I'm
one,
good.
and hopefully between Larry, the recorder's office, and the assessor's office, we can kind of alleviate this happening.
So how much time do you recommend?
I'd say this week, and I'd have to check, but it would be short notice. They were aware of it before. The current owners were a little upset that this hearing, and I advised them they should be here, but
Okay.
I told them I would bring forth what happened and leave it up to you.
Let's
all.
give them 2 weeks in case we have some rainy weather and they can't get it taken care of, then that'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm good with that, 2 weeks.
Other than that, that's all I had. I wanted to make you all aware of.
Mike,
what
what's
happened
going on
this
with that storage unit on Scruggs Station as well?
I went back by there. They haven't done anything yet
Okay.
on it. I will be sending you something this afternoon on it to get it on the agenda. And again, short notice on 10 days notice on it.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for the extension? Do we usually vote on that, or we just tell you to proceed with the?
I tell you, instead of an extension, this one will be a new case since the actual deed is changing.
Okay,
Yeah, just,
And that's.
okay.
all right, good enough.
If we see you in
Run.
2 weeks,
I will
Channel
be good.
17, Ryan Houseworth will be calling me, so
Okay.
we're good.
He can put me on speed dial.
Okay. We're
I
gonna
may
do-
regret that statement. but-
Part-time position for recorder's office.
It's all right, Mike, I give all the kids your number and tell them it's Santa Claus's number anyway. Speaking of, y'all do that, Larry, get rid of that balloon. I got your number too.
He's the Grinch, though, not Santa Claus.
Careful what you say.
You ready, Sam?
Yes.
The recorder's office, I'm requesting $4,500 in funding for a part-time position through December. For justification, I want you to know that there are many tasks, activities, and projects in the recorder's office for which a part-time position would be especially valuable. For the last many years, the recorder's office operated with 5 full-time staff persons until last spring. The previous recorder let a 5th staff person go last year, spring of 2014. I understand with the intention of bringing back the 5th full-time staff person in January of 2015. Today, with 4 full-time staff persons on a daily basis, each individual performs a key and critical role, and only collectively do the 4 staff persons successfully complete a day's work. The next day, it starts all over again. 1 staff person on vacation takes us down to 3 staff. 1 staff person on vacation and 1 person out sick takes us down to 2 staff. And one day last April, for example, the office barely functioned with only 1 staff person. Now, after 8 months on the job, I conclude that with 4 staff persons, the recorder's office is too close to being understaffed. Quite simply, the part-time position I seek, I view as being smart and valuable insurance for our office. The part-time position is cost-effective with no benefits or retirement, no holidays or overtime, no vacation or sick leave. Therefore, I appreciate your favorable consideration for $4,500 funding for a part-time position through December. I would welcome any questions or comments.
When we changed the positions around, we moved some salaries and stuff and eliminated the position earlier this year. I can't find the email on that.
Actually, that position was funded by the recorder's special fund. It was a full-time position that was funded by that fund. And Mr. Rodman agreed not to fill that position, so in turn, he didn't have to pay for that position out of his special funds, the recorder's fund. And then at the beginning of this year, we eliminated all the memorandums of understanding, which one of them was to pay for that full-time person, and that was still open and never filled. And another position that went from 32 hours to 40 hours that you guys just absorbed in this year's budget. So that's kind of how that position came and went.
The part-time position would give us great flexibility in the office. We have so many things going on, and there's a lot of, the person can provide a lot of support. Plus, we have many activities that a part-time person could help us out with. And and help us achieve certain projects that we can't get done otherwise. We can serve the public better with this part-time position, and I much prefer the flexibility of a part-time position. I don't anticipate ever asking for a 5th full-time position, but I really would like the flexibility of a part-time position.
So what do you think this part-time position would be doing?
The part-time position would provide general office support and assistance, helping out where help is needed most. The part-time position would provide backup and support when it is necessary to juggle staff lunch hours, provide backup and support during staff vacations and days off. Daily duties include preparing the daily mail for processing, verifying the daily mail, data entry, scanning, verifying marriage licenses, database cleanup, help with walk-in public assistance, phone call assistance, and e-recording activities.
So would they basically be working when people were out, or would they be scheduled for so many hours a day, or?
We would bring them in a little at a time, learning each of these different functions of the office so that they would be capable, and if needed, to come in and serve a significant role as needed. In the meantime, the backup and support where it is most needed. Plus, we have projects as well. We're about to complete digitizing all the marriage licenses, I think by the end of December, a project that was started quite a while ago, 2008 maybe, digitizing the marriage licenses that should be complete by the end of this year. But also, we have the office used the Recorder's Fund to purchase an $8,000 wide frame format printer. And we replaced a 15-year-old printer for the 24 by 36 inch drawings, plats, and surveys. And we replaced that 15-year-old printer with a brand new one that has scanning capabilities. We have, and so something else I look forward to doing is we have about 10,000 plats and surveys that we can now scan into the computer system. And so all the new surveys and all the new plats we've been getting since late April, we have been digitizing those as we get them. What I would like to do, as time is allowed, as time is available, is to start working backwards and start digitizing those 10,000 plats and surveys that we have on file already. Also, we have 500,000 digital images that we need to index to make them available to the general public online. And finish scanning and indexing the marriage licenses. Also, on that scanner, on our new printer that we do the plats and surveys with, now that we can scan, we've gained some efficiencies there in that for Public Works, for example. For Public Works, for example, it's no longer necessary for Public Works to come into the office to get surveys. We can simply send an email with that attachment to Public Works, and they can print it out on their own machine at their own location. So these are things that we're improving. We're getting ready. The Cole County website is getting close to reality, and the Recorder's Office looks forward to making more information available over the internet like that with online search capabilities. So we need to be preparing and gearing up for that. So I have no doubt we can keep this person, this part-time position, busy in many, many different areas. Yesterday was a good example. We had 4 full-time people. There's one person that is out all week on vacation, and yesterday we had one person with a doctor's appointment, so we're down to 2. And we survived those situations. That over 8 months of watching the staff and their work and how they perform, I just think we're too close to being understaffed, and the flexibility of a part-time position is very efficient. Plus, it just gives us great opportunities to make greater progress and serve the public better.
I've been hearing some good things about everything you've been doing with the recorder's office, so it's,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's very fun, it's very interesting work, really enjoy it.
Mm.
Have a great staff now, and they're all very helpful.
So I've got a little concern. I haven't seen your budget for 16, but so as we go forward, it looks like you're trying to digitalize, as you said, all this stuff. So is there a request coming for equipment or anything else to help that process, or is that process just going to take time?
What you just described, that process, I believe I can address whatever needs I will have along those areas within the Recorder's Fund and the Technology Fund.
Okay.
I have plans already to use the Recorder's Fund for many of those activities. And in fact, I believe it's the responsibility of the Recorder to use those funds for those types of needs. And I respect the Commission's request to not go around the Commission for full-time and part-time people. So if you can, I'm happy to cooperate with the Commission, and I also need the Commission's cooperation as well.
So once you get everything digitalized, do you see maybe that part-time person going away, or, I mean, of course, that's kind of a shot in the dark. I mean,
I understand, Chris, I understand the position you're in and having to look at, you mentioned the concern for another position and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
I understand that very well. At the city council,
Sure.
for 4 years, I became very sensitive to that
Mhm.
also. And if it became time, or the time arose, that we could not justify any part-time position, first reduce hours, and if we could not justify, if it came to a point that we could not justify it, because we could, for whatever reason, I would be the first one to let you know that. I believe in my history of working with the federal government, state government, city government, and now county government, I know that I have always spent the public's money as though it was my own. So if I don't need that position, if it gets to the point that I can no longer justify the position, I'll be the first one to let you know.
I think part-time's more palatable than another full-time, so
And
it's,
you know, I would really prefer the flexibility of that part-time. I really would.
I'm gonna be the mean parent. I'll look at it for 2016 budget.
yeah.
That's just where I'm at with it. I'm all for the digitizing and improving service. I think we need to work with what we got right now, and we can look at it for 2016. I'd be interested in looking at a temporary part-time, once we give people money. And it's just as like you all, when you give it up, it's hard for you to get back. So it goes both ways. But, you know, I'd be looking at doing some budgeting for part-time next year to work on scanning and digitizing them. I mean, are we having more work? Are more deeds being recorded now, or is there?
There are more activities.
More load?
There are new activities. Since January, we have received about 550 e-recordings, and they're building every month. And that's a brand new activity for the office. Also, in response to your comment about perhaps waiting until the 2016 budget, I could easily have waited for the 2016 budget, but I view this short period to be a trial period, to see how well by doing it now with a smaller amount, with a commitment from the commission for a much smaller amount than a year, it gives me the opportunity to reevaluate at the end of December to see if this is working out the way I hope it does. And then, so I see this as a much less expensive trial period to justify that position. And then I'll be better prepared in discussion with the 2016 budget, whether I would recommend we continue with that or not. So I see this, September through December as being a trial period to see if we can even justify it at the end of the year. I hope we can. I expect we can. But I like the opportunity of this trial period. I think it's a good package to take advantage of. And again, it's $4,500, no vacation, no sick leave, no holidays. And also, I do not know that we will use all 20 hours. It's, up to, we may start out, have someone in 2 8-hour days, maybe 3 6-hour days. So I believe we will come in under the requested amount. I see that 4,500 is being max, but that's 20 hours a week, and I don't know that the schedule we fall into that works best for us, it's very possible it would be less than 20 hours a week. This is a chance to fund a trial period without having to commit to it a year. So might be time. I think it's time well spent to evaluate this. Then we can talk about it again in December.
I'm not inclined to do it right now. I'd like to look at it and see some more numbers. I know you emailed it to us, was it last week, something about it. I didn't know what all was going into it. I'd rather, we can do a trial basis at the beginning of 2016 as well. So.
Well, it will always be subject to review. Yeah, I understand that.
Well, I hate to bring somebody in for 3 months and then, I understand what Jeff's saying, that,
The recorder's office is, let's see, last year the recorder's office, I believe, contributed to general revenue. In 2014, contributed to general revenue $231,737. And this year, we contributed, the recorder's office has contributed right around $168,000 to date. And we're on track to contribute probably $240,000. I think with this position, we can provide better services and get more things done and get the public, make the public better served.
Well, I agree that, we want to serve the public as efficiently and as well as we can. Right now, I'm probably not for doing this, just because I feel like we need to stick with the staff that we got, the number of employees, part-time or full-time, that we have, and take care of our existing people. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I appreciate, you wanting to serve the public well, but I just really have a hard time doing any more part-time or full-time people at this time, so.
yeah, I don't have any trouble with it part-time, but I'm thinking kind of like Jeff, maybe let's just wait and put it in next year's budget. Because 3 months is just, it's such a short window.
Are we all a no?
I didn't make a motion, no.
No, I don't think we need to do anything, but, so, sorry, Ralph.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for hearing.
You bet.
Okay.
But I will echo what Sam has said. Appreciate what you're doing with the office and doing and if we're gonna be digitizing and need somebody to help do that, I think we definitely need to look at that. But I think we need to look at it for 2016, so.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Christie, approval of bylaws for on-site wastewater treatment systems board of review. Boy, learning more about this than I really ever thought I would.
Or wanted to know, right? So we're trying to move things along because we do have an on-site wastewater treatment systems board of review meeting tonight. And at that meeting, they need to adopt their bylaws, but they also need to be approved by you. So we've drafted bylaws and we've circulated them through the members, got comments back, and got them formalized so we could have you guys approve them this morning, and then the board will adopt them tonight. So our bylaws are based on what our ordinance says, what the state statute says, and what the 10 CSR 20-3.060, which is the rule that governs on-site sewage systems, covers for what systems are required and what variances conditions can be given. So I think you guys have provided, I have a paper copy if anybody wants to see them, but do you have any questions about the bylaws?
It's a living, breathing document, so if we need to change something, we can change it.
Correct.
There's not a whole lot to it,
No.
but it does give our constituents something if they don't have the ability to comply with what the requirements are, then it gives them a place to go.
We do have a few conditions on which variance can be granted.
Yeah.
So just, and I'm just looking at those variance conditions, and so I know Mr. Lubring had indicated, some type of easement going through other properties or.
Oh, if they have, right.
Yeah, so I mean, to be able to connect to municipal wastewater treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if an easement can't be obtained, I mean, that would be.
That would be a reason why they needed to go ahead and put in an on-site system if they can't connect, because
Right.
the easement can be given. And, he talked about when there has to be an easement given with other like surrounding property, that we need to take that into account. Well, that's something that we would address in our ordinance and would go to like the recorder, but it really didn't need to be in the bylaws of the Board of Review.
Okay.
But yes, that would be in one instance where we would have to give a variance.
Okay. I looked over them pretty good. I mean, I'm an installer, so I don't typically have any problems with that, so.
You good?
I'm good.
All right. Oh, I guess we need a motion to approve the
Yep.
OWTS Board of Review bylaws. I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, Christie.
Oh, thank you for
Christie.
supporting us in this.
Yep.
Are you guys
Yeah.
meeting tonight then?
Yes,
5:30.
5:30 at the health
Well,
department.
y'all were doing your job the whole time. We didn't have this Board of Review in, and so it was holding things up, so that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to expedite that.
Yeah.
And we're
Still doesn't give
yeah.
people the right to wait till the last minute to do
Right,
something
and we're
or
still, and
change their
our
minds.
ordinance, gives us 30 days to have the hearing of the request, so we're still honoring and within that 30 days that our ordinance gives us, so we're good.
Perfect.
Signing of the financial statement report.
Okay, well, this is required by the state statute that we turn this into the state auditor's office, the financial statement, and that we publish it in the paper. And we do this after the audit's over, so this is just the financial statement that I need you guys to sign, so I can publish it in the paper before I give it to the state auditor. And it's just right out of the audit book as far as that goes.
I'm good with it. I've seen it.
I hadn't really had a chance to look at it too much.
It's the
really.
same numbers that are in our audit book that you guys saw earlier in the year. It's just putting it into the correct format so that it can go in the paper.
Is this just for general fund or?
No, it's all the funds, so major and non-major.
It doesn't total them all though?
No,
I see.
they're in there individually.
I'm good.
That's
So
it.
what do we need to do
I
there?
Right
guess
here.
need a motion to sign it, maybe, I don't know, just. kind of-
Motion to approve it.
Yeah,
Approve and sign it, I guess.
yep.
Make a motion, we approve and sign the financial statement report then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You almost signed it before. we
No,
voted.
I did not.
I was watching you.
Gotta watch it.
I tell you.
Good thing we got 4 eyes
No,
on
I
you.
just heard the cap come off, so I was gonna give you. It's been a while. We even got emails from you, so.
I know, I'm
kinda-
getting better, I'm getting better.
Have to go back
Discussion
on
of
stuff.
change from monthly to bi-weekly payroll.
Okay, well.
Goody.
Well, for many years that I've been here, there's been discussion about the county still being monthly paid as for payroll for all the employees. Again, the state went in 2000 to a new SAM system, and they went to being paid bi-monthly. The city is paid,
Bi-weekly.
no, they're bi-monthly. They get twice a month. They don't get bi-weekly at the state.
Is
That's
it
what
every 2
OA
months?
told me.
They get
Yeah.
paid every 2 months?
Twice a month.
It's twice a month, yeah.
Every 2 months or twice a month?
Twice a month.
Bi-monthly could be either way, right?
Bi-weekly,
Oh, good
bi-weekly is
grief.
every 2 weeks, so there's 26 pay periods. Bi-monthly, there's 24 pay
You
periods.
said bi-yearly, it could be twice a year or every 2 years.
See, I knew I better not prepare for this because it would be a disaster. That's good.
I'm
No.
just-
So, anyway, so there's been many debates. Most of the people that have been here a long time like the monthly. There's a lot of the newer, younger ones that would like the being paid every 2 weeks. With the new system, it works better with every 2 weeks. We'd all be on the same pay schedule, not pay schedule, but pay batch of work. Right now, we have part-time on a different pay batch. We have salary on a different pay batch. We have EMS on a different pay batch. Dates is what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. And the sheriff's department on different dates. With everybody in the county going bi-weekly, we would all be on the same pay schedule. It would make things a little bit easier within the new system. We wouldn't have to figure out which pay period people are in order to know when they get their accrual time and when they don't. Just like the state of Missouri did, they had some transitional pay because they were like us. We paid at the end of the month for the whole month. We need to get a little bit behind so we can go every bi-weekly and be a true account of what people actually work. So I'm asking you guys what you think about going bi-weekly versus monthly. And if you like the idea, I would truly like to get a notice out to the employees as soon as possible, because there's things they need to consider. Their own monthly budget, it would be different. Getting paid every 2 weeks would not be like dividing their monthly pay in half. It would be less than that, because in June and December, then they would receive 3 checks, because it would be on a 26. But by the end of the year, they would be whole, just like they would if they were monthly. So it would be an adjustment for some of the employees. And I would like to start at the beginning of the year, if we do that, so we can get all the deductions and benefits going in the right direction. So I'm asking you guys what you think, if that's something you want to pursue.
Well, I know I had asked you back when I first came in about doing it twice a month, because, the state, it took them a while. I think when they first came out with it, they were having their house payments and car payments automatically taken out. Well, it kind of messed things up. So, but I think now if you went back to the state and said, we're going to pay you once a month, I think they'd probably revolt. And just as a retailer, this has nothing to do with that, but towards the end of the month, people didn't have any extra money to spend on. Yeah, and the grocery store, they love the first of the month. They still love the first of the month, but that's when everybody would do their shopping for the whole month. But as a retailer, the twice a month is better too. But that's just my.
And some people like to budget for the month,
Yeah.
and it's easier for them to do that way. And some
We
people
would just have
budget
to let everybody know, because they can rearrange their payments with their banks, but otherwise, they get that first check and the bank takes the house payment and the car payments, and all of a sudden they're getting statements from the bank saying you're overdrawn. So
It just becomes hard for some departments to manage the time for overtime for when they're looking at a whole month cycle. Even though most of our employees are a 40-hour week, to me, I don't know, I could let any of the other departments talk. I at one time wanted to do a survey of the employees first to find out what they felt about it, but I've also been told that there were some department heads that were going to make sure that the survey came out the way they wanted it. So I thought, well, that's not fair. So I dropped that, and, I mean, it's up to you guys.
Doing it monthly causes us a big problem with time. Our guys are scheduling overtime, not by their choice, but, we have stuff that comes up, storms, wintertime. With the system currently, it would be better if we could go to 2 weeks. I think it would alleviate a lot of the problems and issues that we have, is being able to try and get our time sheets. I'm assuming that new employees would actually work a month before they got their first paycheck. Is that?
Well, they would definitely be behind the 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
The question is, how we start out, to make it work. But I like being 2 weeks behind. That gives us time to get our accounting, keep our accounting. It causes a lot of problems for us as well as for Debbie. If she has to go back in with the system we currently have, we can't make the changes. We have to give a list to her, and right now it's causing us to have to keep 2 accountings.
But at the, even the 2 week cycle, you would have to still get your time turned in by that next Thursday of the previous 2 weeks. So, I mean, it gives us more time to process, but we still can't be lacking 2 weeks.
All right, so why
So
don't we
to
want to
say.
do it?
Why don't we say?
Why don't we want to go to the bi-weekly?
I'm not saying we don't. It's basically the transitional part.
Why wouldn't we go to bi-weekly then?
Why wouldn't we? At this point with this new
Be the
system.
transitional pay could be one reason. I mean,
Right.
but
But we
we're,
don't have to have transitional pay.
Well, then you won't keep your employees whole. By the end of January, they would only be paid for 88 hours.
Be paid for time they worked,
Yes. But
as opposed to
again-
paying them for time they didn't work. Because each time I think I understand it, I come and talk to you more about it. And then I
Yeah.
get myself confused. So the transitional pay is something we need to discuss, I guess.
The transitional pay will keep the employees whole. By the end of January, they will receive a whole month worth of pay. Yes, if they would, okay.
So they're getting paid.
no, they won't.
Well, they were 26 pay period hold.
They're going to receive 4 weeks of pay
Yes,
by the end of January.
yes.
It's not a whole month, so.
No, it's not a whole month divided in half. No, it's not.
Having been under all 3 systems, when you've been in them for half a year, you'll find that having the consistent cash flow every 2 weeks becomes very, very, very easy to deal with an emergency that comes up. But you got to do what Jeff was talking about and Sam was talking about, is readjusting with your bank,
Mhm.
which is taking out when. But you do that. The only issue you've got is the transitional pay.
Yep.
If
So
you want
let's-
to make it works easy
Well-
for the employee.
And that's something we can discuss more about. I mean, I'm okay with going ahead and figuring this out, how we're gonna do it. The transitional pay is the part that I've got a question on, because you're talking about getting behind to be ahead, and that doesn't make sense to me. And we've talked about it several times, and we don't need to keep talking about it in here, otherwise you'll see me scratching my head again.
Could I ask one question about that?
Mhm.
And maybe I'm not understanding the system, but if at the end of December, you paid them for December, right?
Yep.
So if you started this, then at the end of that first 2 weeks, should they be paid for that first 2 weeks?
You gotta get behind, so we wouldn't pay that first 2 weeks till the end of
Why do you
January.
have to get behind?
You have to have a
We gotta have
cutoff
time to
date.
process.
So you work to this date, then you cut off, and then you get paid, so.
We often, when we turn in the timesheets, are anticipating that they're going to work.
Yeah, you're paying for stuff that they haven't worked yet. I mean, same way with salaried people.
We don't wanna anticipate anymore.
Yeah, you're anticipating they're working, and now you gotta go back and adjust
So what
stuff.
you're saying is you don't want to anticipate.
Yes.
And if you don't want to anticipate, then the thing to do for the employee is to do the transition.
Yeah, in reverse, it'd be kind of like new employees starting, the current employees it wouldn't be really any transition. Now, when they quit or retire, I'm assuming that's when we get the 2 weeks back.
That's right.
You know,
There is no liability for the county until we leave.
The new employees starting, if you hire somebody January 2nd, they wouldn't get paid until First of February.
Well,
End of January 26th, I think is
well,
what it was.
you'd have to look at the scheme here.
But they'd only get paid for 2 weeks on January 26th, right?
Right.
Well, they have to work the first 2 weeks, and then it go into the system, and they get paid in
The end of the month, yeah, the end of the month, yes.
So, it just, everybody needs to realize that when they retire or they quit, we're gonna get that 2 weeks back. that
Right.
We've run it with the transitional pay.
That's right.
So are you talking about going by every 2 weeks, not like where the state does, where you got, it's the first and the 15th,
No.
but they do 24 pay periods, not 26.
Every two.
I think the state messed up though when they went to first and 15th. I mean, that was one of the headaches they were dealing with that
Yeah.
Debbie said we don't want to deal with.
No,
So-
talking to OA, they've had nothing.
My understanding is the system is designed really from scratch to do every 2 weeks. That's what Devin said.
Yeah, you can do any of them, but they didn't, with the adjustments that we do, it's very difficult with the new
Steve has a
system,
question back there.
with the adjustments of time taken.
Right, and when we had the first training on it, I'd asked that question.
Mhm.
So just to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying, this system's really designed to do every other week.
Yeah, I mean, it works smoother every other 2 weeks with this system.
Which is what.
Do you have some, Steve?
I just have an easy solution. Christmas bonus, make up the 2 weeks pay.
Amen.
Don't say bonus.
Let's vote on
Can't
it.
give a bonus.
And nobody's getting any extra pay here.
How about a short
Nobody's
raise?
getting it.
Do we lose 2 weeks in the transition?
No.
Nobody
See,
loses
that's
anything
where
in the transition.
I think I got confused is because we wanted to do the get behind to get ahead thing, but we wanted to do it as part of a raise or something, so that's why I was getting confused. While we're eating part of it, I mean, you should just get paid for what you work. If we're gonna give you raises, give raises.
With transitional pay, no. But when they left here, they left on the 30th, 31st, they'd still have 2 weeks coming to them. Because we're 2 weeks behind.
As long as nobody's losing anything, hey.
But if we don't do transitional pay, then the employee is losing a full month of
You'll
January.
lose the 2 weeks up front, but you'll get it back at the end.
Yes.
We need to think about transitional. I'd hate for an employee to lose anything.
So, I mean,
That's just me.
so you're calling it transitional pay, but it's really not costing the county anything until they leave.
That's right.
There's no, it's not encumbering us until they leave, then they get an extra check.
Yes, basically.
We're changing the pay
20
periods.
years when they changed over, it was a
Yeah.
headache, but I
Uh-huh.
loved it. Then I come to work in the county and you're right back
Yeah.
on the third day.
I'm right with
It's
you, Bill,
been-
too.
it's been a while, but it was good.
But people will wait a lot longer, new employees will, than they're not used to here.
Debbie, is this gonna be easier for you?
Well,
Easier for everybody.
Well, you know,
Gets everybody on the same pay
think-
scale.
It gets
schedule.
everybody on the same pay scale, which makes that part easier, but we do the processing twice now a month
Okay.
instead of once.
Okay.
So I still hope by the end, because of the adjustments we won't have to do anymore, we'll even out the work. But,
Well, the system does it automatically, doesn't it?
oh yeah, push a button, go in there, push a button.
So we need to decide whether we're good at moving forward with this so that Debbie can let the employees know if we're gonna go this route
Right.
or what. And so I'm okay with moving
Yeah.
forward with transitional pay, but I don't know where you're at, Jeff. I know you got a couple things, and I see where
Where
you're
we're
coming
gonna-
from, but.
To where we're gonna be paying them 2 weeks ahead, but whenever they, separate, then we square up.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's not like we're giving them a bonus or anything.
No,
At some
no.
point, that's how it was kind of explained, and I got confused. So,
It's unencumbered until separation.
Correct.
Right.
Well, not really.
I mean, it's still out there as a liability, you know.
Really,
because-
the transition pay is paying them for those first 2 weeks, even though in reality, some employees have gotten paid for a portion of that 2 weeks.
But that,
see, it
I'm
sounded.
So if your first 2-week period starts on December the 20th to get paid that first payroll check in January, you are pretty much going back and paying them for those 2 weeks, 80 hours. Split flat 80 hours transition pay to get them a check, that first check.
but when they leave,
When they leave, they get paid through the last day that they work.
right, If they're not getting paid for any time they did, are they getting money that they didn't have?
They're getting paid twice.
Yes, they're getting paid twice for that first 2-week period.
But they're not getting paid.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
I think I would keep the, you're not gonna lose anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You're keeping
Yeah.
them whole.
You're not losing.
You're
not
keeping
gonna
them whole.
gain.
The problem that you will have with your people though is that, you know, they're only gonna get 2 paychecks before the end of January.
Yep.
I mean, they'll get another one, what was it, February 6th? So, I mean.
11.
2 weeks, every 2 weeks.
Every 2
I,
weeks.
I realize that, but I mean, people are used to paying their bills monthly,
Correct.
okay?
Exactly.
So you're gonna receive less money by the end of January than you will now.
Yes, because you're not dividing their monthly in half. You're dividing their yearly into 26.
I'll be devil's advocate on that. I've got bills that are due on the 1st and I've got bills that are due on the 10th, so when I get paid on the 6th, I'll pay the ones on the 10th. I don't know, I think they're all, well, I hope they're all adults that we're hiring, but, and they can work their way through it. It just might take a transition period for them too, but I think it's probably better for everybody.
And that's what it took with the state. It just took them a while, but really the banks are very good at
Hopefully it don't take us long. as
working
it's
on,
taken me to
you
figure
know,
this
you can
out.
change the dates of your payments being automatically withdrawn.
And I did come up with a list in a letter from you guys, about a half-a-page list of things they need to consider about moving, you know, as far as their budget is concerned. So,
Was that in that attachment?
yes. So you guys can look that over and see, and an easy
In the new
calendar
department.
for them to be able to understand.
My experience is it's good.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, you and Larry have probably the 2 biggest departments, so.
Michael?
It sounds like for both of us that I'm in favor.
Well, as far as our accounting, I know Debbie and Teresa out of our office gets a pain in the posterior.
And we're already doing ours this way right now. We just don't get the check, but we're doing our accounting this way. Is that accurate?
Yeah, you're doing your overtime based on the 2-week cycle, yeah.
Well, I'm fine with proceeding
Are
with
you
it.
doing that
If
too, Mike?
anybody's got a,
The overtime, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
We do it on a 2-week cycle. I just don't want any employee to take a hit as we transition. However, having this done on a 2-week cycle, which we're you now, would be a big help from the administrative side.
And I agree with Mike. I want to see the transition pay with it, so they don't lose out. I want them to keep their houses, I want them to keep their cars. I don't want banks to change their interest rate or their credit cards because.
Yeah, they'll get a bad credit score, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That's one freaking point.
There is a few people that will have to be caught up to get this right. That's the sheriff's overtime will have to get caught up because their pay cycle is behind ours.
Yeah, we sure
EMS,
don't mind catching
we'd
up.
have to catch up. Part-timers, we'd have to catch up. Now, that money would have to be budgeted. That's about the only thing that have to be budgeted, other than whatever happens next year. We'd owe it anyway, so it's not like it
I was
was.
gonna say, they've already worked that overtime, they're owed it, so
Right.
that's not our
Okay, that's right.
I'm fine with moving ahead with it, we can,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anybody opposing it. I just heard me asking a bunch of dumb questions and go over this.
No,
Debbie's
it's
probably about
confusing.
tired of it, so.
No, I'm just wanna,
You don't have to lie, you know we're on camera.
he ain't got the.
He's trying to butter up so you don't tape him too
We got
tight.
to push button day.
I need some consideration in January, though. 'Cause I'll be
Like Wheeler,
by
it's a
myself.
volume issue.
All right, what else you need from us on that then?
Debbie?
Nothing, just a permission to go ahead and a motion to change the county from monthly to biweekly as of January of
What's that?
2016.
And that's gonna tell us exactly how we're doing the transition stuff then?
No, well, that spreadsheet showed that I attached there. You have that
But we're not
spreadsheet.
paying anybody for anything we don't know them for in that one, right? I've got that spreadsheet, but it's still.
Depends how you wanna look at it.
See, we were almost there.
Okay. Not till they leave, how about that, or something like that. And just, yeah. And that first one in January, we wouldn't do the system for timesheets. Because it would
Okay,
overlap.
we're gonna pay ahead to get behind, but then whenever there's separation, that's when we're getting the money back. Or they're not gonna be
No, that's
paid
when
for
we-
a certain amount of time because they were already paid for it for us to get them behind.
Technically, we're gonna have to pay
No.
them more when they leave than we do currently. That would be the simple answer.
They've already worked.
Yeah, you're not-
They've
you're
only
not
been
ever
2
gonna
weeks
get it
of summer
back.
months when they
As
leave.
far as the budget's concerned, Jeff, we're gonna budget the same amount.
Yep.
But if someone leaves in the middle of the year, they will get an additional check after they leave because they are 2 weeks behind.
So.
So the transition pay will have no budget
But we're paying them
effect
for
up
time
front.
they worked there.
Yes.
Yes.
Fine with that.
Yeah.
But that's when you're going to see the effect of the transition pay. You're not
So
going
we're
to
giving them the
see-
transition pay, so when they leave, then you say, well, we already paid you for 2 weeks to get you behind here. We owe you for 2 weeks when you leave. Well, we really don't know you because you owed us.
No, you can't do
It
that.
it would be
All
an
right,
accounting
then that's why I
nightmare
don't want
to
to
do
do
it
the
that way.
transition period then. Just pay them for when they work.
Okay, they're getting your phone number.
Then don't do that.
Yeah, I would say if we, respectfully, if we go that route, then I don't want any employee to take a hit whatsoever.
They're not taking a hit.
Yeah,
They are up front.
No, you're not. You're getting paid for your time you worked.
But
Right
you're
now, we're
only-
paying them on
You're not
January
keep-
31st. Or January 30th, since that's a Friday. We've already done payroll and paid them for like those last 3 days of the week. And if they take off those last 3 days, or if they quit on the 28th, they're still getting that paycheck for those 3 days.
But in January of 2016, if you do it without transition pay, they will only get paid for 88 hours in January.
Yep.
They will not get a full month's salary.
And then
or
they'll get paid
anywhere
on
close to
February
it.
6th for
No,
another 40
11th.
hours.
11th.
Then where'd the 6th come in? Oh, hold on, I'm in the wrong year. See, this is, if you two just want to vote to go ahead with it.
I'm gonna stop your argument
Yeah,
here,
go
so.
ahead. Make a motion,
I
I'll
move
second.
that we transition from monthly to bi-weekly pay with, what do we call it? Transitional pay.
And I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, because I'm confused. Not because I'm not for it. I'm all for the bi-weekly pay, but the transition
Okay.
period I don't agree with.
Debbie's gonna teach you. She's gonna.
I don't agree paying, we're essentially gonna pay them for 2 weeks of. So if you get
Okay,
hired now, though, you won't get that. Yeah, you will.
okay, now we're,
Anybody after next year won't get that 2 years bonus. That's essentially what it is, it's a bonus.
2 years?
2 week.
Well,
Move on.
Finally, the end of January.
no, you know, let's go back to something with a
Go
little bit of
Sam.
sanity. Let's go back to the budget discussion. Since we put budget
Oh.
discussion on the very end.
So we put budget discussion on here because the budgets are due today to the auditor's office, and your departments that report to you, this is kind of their chance if they have something big that they need to bring to you and talk to you about before you formally submit it to the auditor's office, if there's something you want to discuss with them. That's why that budget discussion's on there. I don't know if anyone has anything that they want to bring up.
One thing I point out in our budget, we did have $100,000 in our budget for repairs in our building out there. We're gonna do something pretty soon. The back doors on the main building are gonna fall off. Just due to 30+ years of salt erosion, we've gotta do something back there. So you'll notice a big increase in our facility maintenance.
On the back of the main building, all them garage doors? Yes. Yeah, they are getting pretty rough. All right,
We
that
got
it?
an estimate, cut it down, reskin it, and redo the doors, so.
And if you guys got any questions, you know, attached behind everybody's budget, you can see that stuff. Now, I'm not sure if you lock it, can we still all see that stuff?
Yes, you can still see, you just can't change. So the budgets are in the system, a lot of them have notes and attachments to them, so you guys can start looking at it now if you want to. They will be grayed out, so you can't go in and change any numbers, but you can go in and look at any of the attachments or footnotes in the department requested. So you should have access to all of those at the moment that have been submitted. There are some that are not grayed out yet, that have not been received.
I'm not sure how the other departments, we basically gave you the same information as we did in the past. It's just as attachments attached to that line item, as well as the notes. We try to indicate in the notes what we're doing, proposing to do.
got notified actually while we were sitting here about that Ebola grant that we applied for, and they approved our request but changed the amount, and they did take the amount from the website out. So needless to say, I'm very disappointed. They required us to submit an action item and an action plan and a budget for every single component in that grant, and then they only funded one of them. So, and then the other thing I would say is I did change some positions around on my budget. We asked them to take like 2 part-timers to make them full-time, and did some other adjustments. Overall, my budget for salary is still less than last year. So, and then I forgot to put in my request for a new building, so if you could or extra spraying for the cockroaches at least.
Now we need to do something about that for
The
sure.
only thing I did not include is what we had discussed before, reference to maintenance. I think you were here for that, specific to Public Works and that person. I know we had briefly touched on that a couple of weeks ago. Kristen, you were in here with your phone.
I probably should point out Parks, we did run an additional person through Parks again, so. Especially since we could definitely use an extra person with picking up 2 subdivisions.
Maybe we can share a part-time person with Ralph, and they could work part-time there, come out and then drive a truck.
And I think you guys
Sorry.
are aware that the budget's due back from the auditor by the 15th of November, and I think we already have scheduled meetings for budget hearings after that, so I'll send that out again just in case nobody has. Yeah, I think that's about what it is. I don't even know.
December 1st?
No, November.
Gregor, are windows okay? Have we had any rain
November.
since they?
They're working good.
Yeah, light is streaming through.
Larry, I talked to Doug Cleathorn about putting plows on front of school
Yes.
buses too, so that may help out.
Do what?
Put plows on front of school buses. They're out early in the morning, they clear the roads.
No, no.
We will go through it. We
I'll
will
answer that
contact you.
one. School board don't want to do that.
Them, it's more if you have a change between what we submit.
So we'll do what we did last year.
They say.
They go out that early, Jeff, and then my guys can stay in late and sleep in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Them and the trash trucks, huh?
Yep.
They do that in the cities in Philadelphia, and some of, I think they put them on. Yeah, they put them on their garbage trucks. Yeah.
But no really action on the budget if nobody else has anything on that, so.
So we can get to that through BSNA then, see everything.
Yes, if you have questions or you want to see how to get there again, just let us know.
Okay.
Do we actually have to submit it to you? Is there somewhere we have to push a button to submit it?
When we sent out the letter this year, we asked that you submit like a salary plan, if there is merit money, how you would distribute that merit money. And if you have any capital requests, to submit those in writing. When you submit those 2 things in writing, we assume that you're done entering in the system.
Otherwise, give her a call.
Yeah.
That's kind of like timesheets. That's why there's really nothing that triggers us, so I just always want to confirm that you are done.
So right now,
before I
as people have
start
been
playing with
notifying me that they're done, I've been going in and locking them. So your budget will be grayed out when we know that you're done entering.
But we still have meetings with everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mister, I'm late all the time, right
Yeah.
there.
Procrastinate.
And how many lines you got in that budget?
Yeah. I'm not yet. And just a reminder, make sure everybody's back here at noon to see Jeff take to the front of the building.
But we have an 11 o'clock meeting down at CVB first, so if they, hopefully they won't keep us
I'm
over.
fine that we bring this up right after we were talking about budgets coming up.
And we're going to require that Jeff get so much money raised to get down off of the wall, so.
I think we have to have money raised to get me to stay on there.
He has some very good taste.
He's gotta be able to get off the
His
wall.
bucket will be out there if anyone would like to put some donations in, either for more time on the wall or to help him get
There
off.
were no stipulations about time. Take to the wall, then off.
That's why I left it up to me until the very end to decide.
What was our final total, Kristen? Did you, I know it was 10,000.
We were over 10,000. I'm not exactly
Okay.
sure. It was like $10,060.
Okay.
was our final total. But whatever we earned today will get added to that.
You did a good job.
And Jeff, I just wanted to let you know that I said no to all the people that asked to borrow tasers.
The water balloon, so I.
I still think you should put
Yeah,
the
I liked your email. Jeff handles all parking assignments, so better be nice. Whatever Jeff says goes.
Yeah, so I tell the guys to take the paintballs over.
I don't mind a little pain. I've been married twice. There ain't a whole lot y'all can do to hurt me that
I'll
bad.
just send an email out. I don't know if I'll get everybody.
It's still being recorded.
Yes. Do we have any other issues?
Yep.
I do, next Thursday, September 10th at 10 a.m., we're going to have a meeting over at the Pringer Center with Greg Camp and the contractors who are going to be doing the remodeling. They're starting the end of September because it's going to be a disruption for the Pringer Center. And so we figure we better kind of let Michael know what's coming. We had some issues where we had some people going in and out of the Pringer Center, and that is a secure area. So when they start that putting in that new system over there, we're going to have people going in and out of the Pringer Center big time. So we're just kind of educate Michael and his staff as to what's going to happen. But I can't make it next Thursday at 10 a.m. I don't know if either one of you can.
I got the ABC 17 interview next Thursday at 9, so I don't think, well, what do we need to be there for?
Well, I don't know. I just figure it. It's gonna disrupt.
What time is it, next Thursday?
10 a.m.
Okay, I'll try to be
They're
there.
gonna be up in the attic and stuff, right?
They're gonna be all over that.
What are we
all
doing?
over that.
What are we doing there, Sam?
It's the contractors and Michael. I know they're requiring their contractors to do a background check on them and all that other stuff. But it's they got to realize that these kids live there, so you can't go at 5 o'clock, just quit working and leave a room torn up or something like that. Plus, you've got classrooms.
What time was that?
10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the 10th, right?
Yeah.
Empty one. As long as you never come upstairs.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. Move we recess until 4:30.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Don't get up yet, turn it off quick.
No, you can't do that.
No, this is, I'm not asking for any decisions.
No,
Doesn't matter. Okay.